reality is, the more risk you take, the luckier you get. So people need to learn to take one big risk a day. Every day take a risk and build up that risk muscle, because risk is where success comes.
Risk must be taken for the greatest. Hazard in life is to risk nothing.
Take the biggest fucking risks of your entire life right now. Remember, you have time.
I think that most people, the reason that they lack success in their life is that they lack the courage to make the decisions that need to be made to put them in the position that they want to be in.
You can get so scared, and you can be so easily lulled into the idea that good is good enough, that feeling safe and comfortable is what you should always be looking for. That way of thinking, in your 20s in particular, dead fucking wrong. I want you to start to create this mindset of taking risks and going big.
Yeah, dog. Welcome to R2R. Live stream number 142. Happy Thursday to everybody out there in the crypto space. Don't forget to smash the like button, drop a comment. If you're on YouTube, you got to hit the post notifications. You got to subscribe, right? Make sure if you're on X, retweet, like it, all that good stuff. And always remember, guys, listen, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm for damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. You must do your own research. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to cryptocurrency. You could lose it all. All right. You can see the little what's in the background there? My son's punching bag, like the human. He's got the punching bag and the one that looks like an actual person, so you can practice to kick some punches. But anyways, I wonder why the camera's picking that up today. I don't know why. Anyways, let's see who's here. No Spoon, Wrecked. Let's go. Thank you, No Spoon, for being here. Yeah. My wife watches the blonde lady. Laugh out loud. I've never seen her before. I've never seen that lady before. Till today. Moonmut, let's go. Thank you. Everybody smash the like button. You got to smash the like buttons on all platforms. YouTube, X. Get the algorithms going. Appreciate the support. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to talk about how dump money won the crypto bull market. Yes, dump money did win this crypto bull market that I talk about. Ended in March of 2025. Whether you like it or not, whether you love it or hate it, I have always given my explanations. We can always get into it. But we're going to cover the success of these individuals, what they were able to do outside of crypto and bring it inside of crypto, and how that played out during the 2024 crypto bull run. So let me go to full screen here so you guys can see as we take a look here. S&P 500 stock market is looking good today, right? The stock market is looking good today. We'll switch screens here in a second here to go take a look at Yahoo Finance. I like TradingView, but Yahoo Finance has got the news articles, the scoop. They always give you the mainstream media buzz or buzzkill, right? The reason why there's shakeups happening in the market, the reason why there's excitement, the reason why anything's downtrending, crashing, you name it, it's all here. Everything seems to be booming right now in Wall Street, right? And it's funny how we go from zero to a hero real quick. One day, China, look at it right here. China remains defiant, says U.S. should revoke all tariffs. So in the mix of all this green, we see this here, which is not a good thing. Like China is basically lashing out at us, pushing back, giving us some pushback. And this tariff war, it's like Trump's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He wants to go full-blown balls to the wall, tariff wars, reciprocal tariffs. What you tax us, we tax you. Bringing attention across all the nations to let's have an even playing field, right? And in the short term, it's bad for the stocks. In the short term, it's bad for crypto. So with the 1 foot in, 1 foot out, he pivots, and he just comes out and just does what he needs to do as far as helping the markets go back into the green. listen, we're going to see a lot of teeter-tottering going back and forth. The markets are very important in presidencies. You know, nobody wants to be the president that crashed the stock market. Sometimes you just inherit a bad market, and it is what it is. I mean, what could you do? You inherit a bubble is gonna happen. You inherit a good economy, you're gonna have a good part of your presidency with a good economy, and you might take it with your policies. So we'll see. It's still early on. He won in January, took office January 20th. Hasn't been very long yet, but the markets are been acting funky from one day to the next. Bitcoin is directly correlated with the stock market. Bitcoin right now, as we take a look here, $93,587. Now, I went on Twitter and I even said I'm bullish on Bitcoin for the next 2 days, right? I'm not going to back off my theory of saying that basically the bull market ended in March 2025. I'm going to stick to that. And I played a little clip for you guys earlier on the intro about opportunity, right? About risk taking. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do believe, there's a lot of things that are going to come, because you got to remember, Donald Trump, whether you love her or hate him, is going to use the tariffs as bargaining chips. And at certain moments when things start to look like they're going bad, he will pivot to bring greenery to the scenery. We see him do that back and forth several times. But the job can't be completed without the tough stance of these tariffs, and China is giving pushback. So that story will continue to go back and forth. Regardless of that, no president, no amount of money could really get us out of the situation that got us here in the first place, was to continuously print money. And at the end of the day, they're going to want to consolidate the U.S. debt at a lower interest rate. He's pressing on Powell, cut rates. Because if we, were to lower the interest rate on the U.S. debt overall, it'd be a big deal. And boosting the economy and bringing jobs back to the U.S. is important and all that. But you can't have that type of success and things go in that direction without there being some harsh volatility. Plus, I believe we're in the cycle where we've gone from bull to bear. Whatever you may believe, that's a lot of personal opinion. But let's talk about the dumb money, right? You got to understand some things that I've learned over the years when I saw finally, this play out. If you guys remember, go watch the movie on Netflix too, when it comes to dumb money and what happened, okay? Having to understand what took place is now allowed me to comprehend and understand the possibility of what happened in crypto in this bull run, why it happened, and the confidence it gave retail investors. So long story short, with dumb money, right? If you do your research and you go back to 2021, where a short squeeze happened with it's an American video game retailer known as GameStop. In case you guys are, in other countries, it is an American video game retailer known as GameStop. And what happens was these hedge funds were shorting the GameStop stock, right? So those positions, it was like 140% of GameStop's public, right, float had been sold short. And the retail investors rushed to buy it. The captain of the ship was Roaring Kitty, right? Remember, I like the stock. So the little guys took on the big guys, the hedge funds, who were shorting the stock, sucking the life out of it, and making money as it goes down, right? When you short something. The little guys went and applied their buy pressure to that. And it's interesting that this short squeeze was applied, right? Taking on the hedge funds was literally people from subreddits, Wall Street Bets, all these internet forums and social media websites. And the head of the snake was Reddit, right? And they're known as dumb money. But what they did is a short squeeze. And these hedge funds started to lose money on these shorts. It was crazy, right? And what you saw surface from that was literally in these forums, a ton of what we call in crypto degen apes, right? Wall Street bets. They're a bunch of degen apes. These are the people that buy meme tokens in crypto. So for the first time ever, we saw the little guy take down the big guy. In the end, the big guy came back. As you all know, if you watch the movie or you research this and research it, then watch the movie so that you understand it. The movie just gives you the visual part, but reading and understanding all the facts is important to the story. But ultimately, we had Robinhood who stopped you from being able to buy it. Why did they remove the buy button at the time of this major short squeeze? Well, obviously, there was some kind of connection between the Robinhood founders and these hedge funds pressuring them, stop these people from buying. It was the regular average Joes, the regular investors, the apes, the degens, the diamond-handed individuals that took down these hedge funds, the people who control the markets. It's like if we went into crypto and took on the market makers and took down everybody who was shorting, Ethereum or Bitcoin, and all gathered together and started buying it and squeeze out all the shorts so that they lose their money. What evolved from this is these degen apes, these people who look for opportunity, who now know the magnitude and the strength of their community, what they were able to do, the dumb money, found a home in crypto. And they found a home in crypto, right, when it comes to meme tokens, meme coins, right? You want to call them shit coins, whatever. So when I talk about Ethereum not needing to hit an all-time high to indicate that we are in a bull run, right? I have to, in order for me to accept this narrative that I put together, I have to put to rest my pulse chain emotions. Why? Because Ethereum not hitting an all-time high and believing that the bull market's over and it didn't hit an all-time high goes against my bag and the narrative that I need of Ethereum hitting all-time highs, reaching a peak, $7,000, $10,000, increasing the sacrifice funds, pulse chain being a leverage on Ethereum, and my bag's going up. That's the emotional connection I have to wanting Ethereum to succeed. But the facts are facts. And then what happened versus the reality, and what is the reality and what actually happened versus my imagination, what I want to happen in my emotions and the narrative to back those emotions of my investment in pulse chain are two things that have to be separate. Solana shattered blockchain records, not only with most active users, right, but the speed of adoption that Solana brought to the table in crypto was unbelievable. All right. Go look at the data. Go look at every tool you can find, right? And start to piece together why this happened. This article is from October 2024. This is basically the end of 2024 coming to a conclusion, right? When this article hit. Why did Solana win? Because the speed, the users, and adoption. Okay? And the meme tokens. Meme tokens originated on Ethereum. We had Shiba Inu, right? There was massive success with meme tokens. Pepe, a lot of things launched on Ethereum that were meme coins that people came in. There were these degen apes that made life-changing money. The market changed in that moment when meme tokens were starting to deliver more millionaires than people that bought utility tokens. The people who made money off the utility or a cryptocurrency that you can call a store of value like Bitcoin were early investors, right? I can't look at the market and put piece together and go, hey, everyone that's coming in now is going to want to buy the Bitcoin at these prices and get me more rich. Listen, I bought Bitcoin at $200, $250. I bought Ethereum at $7. I bought XRP at half a penny. Those prices are no longer available. Those market caps are no longer available when I got in that will allow that many more X's to happen to where we're at. There's a lot more altcoins in business. There's a lot more technology out there that takes up market share. And the dumb money poured into a much faster, efficient, cheaper blockchain known as Solana. And when Ethereum was popping with meme coins, it was mostly the people that were crypto savvy. It was onboarding a lot of people with DeFi. It was booming. But as time went on, the SVM technology was better. And on top of that, it had a massive meme season in 2024. Where people in these internet forums, people that were from Reddit, people that are on Telegram and Twitter, were shouting at the top of mountains, not about utility, right? Not about utility. Nobody cared about Chainlink's technology. No one cared about Hedera Hashbar's technology. No one gave an F about utility. The average user, the average new onboard, wanted to get rich quick with a meme coin because they heard all of the stories of their friends who just got in and all the stories of, think about how many meme coins went to $1 billion. So these individuals, the dumb money, didn't even need to produce a short squeeze. All they had to do was onboard their degen apes onto a Solana chain, onto a base, because Brett did very well for base as well, and buy the token at very low market caps. Pitch the narrative of we get rich at $1 billion market cap. And literally, the onboarding tool was meme coins, and Solana outperformed Ethereum by miles. So what does that do for Ethereum? And why are people confused right now and think that we are still going to have a bull run? They are in denial that they missed it and that it ended because Ethereum did it at an all-time high. You tell me how Ethereum hits new all-time high when it is a tech-built asset. Means you build on it and the technology enhances the user experience. That technology made the user experience expensive. So they found alternative avenues, SVM, Solana, right? And the amount of new users that Solana had actually kicked into gear is actually unbelievable. It's unbelievable when you look at the growth, the numbers, right? I was reading this article here where they started the year and they literally went from 1 million plus users to roughly 5 million users in 2024, right? They 5x their users. They onboarded and brought new adoption to crypto with that amount. And it wasn't people looking for utility. It wasn't people that wanted to be on Ethereum paying high gas fees, deal with all that stuff that you had to deal with. Gas fees are low now, but it's like too late, right? So the dump money, it went into memes. It went into memes. People wanted to get rich, right? I'll read to you the stats here. Solana makes new records. This was data that was collected September 10th, 2024. Solana surpassed 5 million daily active addresses, up from 1.05 million earlier in the year. This shows that the Solana ecosystem is increasing, especially DeFi and NFTs, which are gaining stream. And it's incredible, those types of numbers, because if you want to go look at what's happening right now in real time, right? This is even crazier. So Ethereum right now has 1,331 protocols. Solana only has 216. That's it. So it has 6 times the amount of protocols in Ethereum. Ethereum has 386,409 active wallets. Solana has 3.96 million active wallets. Could you really look at the active wallets, right, that are participating right now in DeFi across the board and say that Ethereum is going to go to new all-time highs when it's getting market share sucked from it? Active users is 10 times more than Ethereum. Active addresses. 3.96 million versus 386,409. Okay. Look at the DeFi TVL though. This is the big thing where people look at and be like, look at the TVL. Well, Ethereum's been around for much longer. A lot of the TVL is stable tokens and different protocols like Aave and all that stuff. 49.15 billion, 7.73 billion on Solana. But Solana still has 6x less protocols. Now, the bridge is a much massive amount versus Solana as well. 365 billion TVL, bridge TVL versus 28.54. All right, stables, 123 million. I just said stables is where like the majority of it comes from, right? 123.37 billion stables on ETH, 12.9 billion on Solana. But look at this. 24-hour DEX volume, 2.4 billion for ETH, 3.6 billion for Solana. 24-hour chain fees, 769,457 for ETH, 1,460,000 chain fees in 24 hours for Solana. About double with way less protocols. It's in its growing phase, right? People are going to realize the opportunity that I have. And if I tell you the story, I bought Ethereum at $7. I grew during the DeFi craze. I held and grew during the meme coin phase. I leveraged my ETH into meme coins, made more ETH. It was great. It was early. Ethereum's all-time high. What was it, like $4,800? This bull market, it only went to about $4,000. But the opportunity is not there on the amount of X's that you can make versus buying Solana because of the market cap is so high versus a lower market cap. That's where you make the most X's. So Solana right now still is going to take more market share from Ethereum in the next 4 years. Okay? It's already at 6x less protocols, but dominating on the 24-hour DEX volume and fees. It's dominating by a 10x on active addresses. These stats are lopsided in favor of Solana continuing to onboard new users, continuing to be cheaper and more efficient, and will continue to be the home and base of meme tokens if there's another meme token boom, which I'm sure there will, because the dumb money out there, the Reddit users, the internet trolls, all the people that are on Twitter, they're yelling about not utility, it's meme tokens. And when they buy and trade a meme token, they don't want to pay a gas fee that's even 10, 15, 20, 30 cents. They want to pay the pennies on Solana. And they want to go where all their friends are. Solana beat everybody. See, Solana changed the game. All right, when I got in this, I talked about this the other night. Overall market cap's $2.93 trillion. Okay? So if I go tell people I made a lot in crypto, and I'm like, yeah, I bought Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, when I bought my Bitcoin, the overall market cap was $4.33 billion. It was $4.3 billion when I was getting in. When I could have gone in and first looked at it, right, it was like here. There was like below $2 billion market cap overall. So the more technology and the more cryptos that come into the space, the more market share it takes. But when you have Ethereum, which is really on a at the top of the hill by itself, Bitcoin store value. No one builds on it. No one makes NFTs on it. DeFi platforms. Nobody has dApps built on Bitcoin. That's all Ethereum, right? But Ethereum didn't hit all-time high this cycle. Interesting thing, though. Right? What was Binance Smart Chain's BNB tokens all-time high? This token right here. Its all-time high happened on December 4th, 2024, it hit $792.88. Oh, guess what? It's built on Ethereum. It's a layer built on Ethereum, and it was meant to be cheaper. And it had a massive run in DeFi when it first came out because users were like, I'm going to go over there for cheaper gas fees. Pancake Swap blew up. A lot of us were there for that major bull run. So Ethereum is even competing for market share against something that built on top of it, right? The tech. Now it's sharing market share in BNB. They hit an all-time high. Ethereum did it. Bitcoin hit an all-time high in December. BNB hit its all-time high. Solana was in January. This is all where DeFi lives, right? You would think that BNB is a leverage on Ethereum, and Ethereum would have done really well, and BNB would have done better. But Ethereum wet the bed, and BNB went to new all-time highs. You have to understand that something is wrong here, and what's happening is technology is getting old, and nobody wants it. Nobody cares about it. They just want to go and use the technology where all the fun is happening, all the money's being made. And that's the dumb money found memes. These adjustments, right? If you're a vet like me in crypto, okay? If you're a vet like me in crypto, these adjustments, if you didn't make the adjustments, you didn't make the most that you could have made in this bull cycle. I made the moves, but I converted them back into like Pulse Chain. So I took a lot of gains and then lost it on the dip. Right? A lot of my gains went back into like Pulse Chain, and ETH really took us to it took us by surprise. I mean, it's no surprise to me based off the technology and the market caps and all that stuff, but like realistically speaking, how in the hell did we think like we'd be in a world where Ethereum didn't reach an all-time high? And people still think, like, people look at Ethereum right now and they go, oh no, it's going to go to $7,000, $10,000. These people are massive Pulse Chain bag holders like myself, and they will not accept anything outside of the narrative that my big position that's leveraged on ETH, if it doesn't go up, we didn't have a bull run. No, man, the technology is outdated. So the risk that I put at the beginning, taking risk. I do think the markets are going to go lower. I think we're in a good little bull trap, right? It's all about the centralized exchanges making as much money as they can, leading into the bear market, where people, the average Joe, will identify that we're in a bear market. Until people can accept that Ethereum is not going to all-time high, they'll still think we're going to go on a bull run in altcoin season. We had it. How many tokens do I have to point out on a daily basis with above $1 billion market cap? How many DeFi platforms do we have to look at that peaked? How many tokens do we have to look at that had parabolic runs in 2024? There's so many. So many meme tokens. Even utility tokens, some of them hit all-time high. But I feel like at this point, you're going to really know when it goes below $1,000. Then people are going to accept the truth. Then it's going to hit between 500 to 700. The bottom of the bull market is where I think if we hit $500 Ethereum, the risk that I'm going to take is not necessarily going to be a risk where I go into like, oh, let me buy this meme token at the bottom. I'm going to buy previous blue chips that did well at the bottom. And I'm not going to expect Ethereum to give me from a $500, $700 price point at 10x. I think it's reasonable to believe the safest bet for me at the Ethereum bottom is for it to give me a 3 to 4x. The next cycle, it'll be, right? The next cycle, it'll probably hit $1,500 to $2,000. And that's okay with me if I gamble on that. Because I understand in the next 4 years that these protocols are probably going to increase on Solana These active users that are already 10x more than on Ethereum are going to increase and continue to outpace it. The 24-hour volume is going to continue to outpace it, right? And the next 4-year cycle, there could be new technology and more technology built on Solana. So here's the alpha that most people, I'm going to tell you, and most people will find it hard to believe, right? Look at Jack Levin, you look at Zen token, you go forever down token, forever down token, forever down token. Great. Digest that through your system, get over it, whatever. I made a lot of money minting at the beginning and now it's not profitable, but he built a blockchain based off collecting data, literally collected data after breaking Pulse Chain after a month after it's launched, clogged up the network with the Zen mints. Did the same thing. Gas fees went up high on Ethereum. Did the same thing on Binance Smart Chain. He did the same thing on every blockchain, right? He's built an SVM, built on a layer built on Solana. So this next cycle is going to be about SVMs, the opportunity. And it's funny that Sonic is SVM compatible too. The new tech, right? And when it comes to X1, want to see something interesting about X1, right? People, you gotta get out of your head when it comes to like, oh, well, Zen, but we're talking about a blockchain from a builder from out the gate, has ties to exchanges, is not gate kept like the founder of Pulse Chain, right? He's heavily connected. Now let's take a look at what he replied to the other day. His reply to something, and I don't know if he's trolling them or what, but somebody asked in regards to when it was going to launch, and he put 2 weeks. So that's a tweet I saw. Let me see here. Yeah, here you go. When's X1's mainnet going live? He put 2 weeks. I don't know if he was trolling or what. I don't know. But I did see him put 60 to 90 days. Like, personally, this could be, a troll, but you never know. To me, it means it can happen anytime. But the next cycle, right? In previous cycles, it made sense to build a layer on Ethereum, to build an Optimism, to build a Binance Smart Chain base and all that. But it's not the latest and greatest tech. Everybody is going to want to build on Solana, SVMs, or fork it, right? Whatever it may be. That's the latest and greatest. Those are going to be the successful things. So my risk is going to be getting involved with all of those during this next bear cycle as we confirm and people realize that we're in a bear market, and they're not going to realize it until prices continue to crash further. They're still going to be hopium, and that happens every cycle. That's going to be the latest and greatest tech that I'm going to get in early on because all the data is there. Ethereum is losing, and it's losing the race right now. As far as where's all the money going to come from? That's going to come up with these unrealistic gains. Bitcoin went to $109,000 and Ethereum barely did anything. It didn't hit its all-time high. A lot of other tokens did. A lot. So maybe Bitcoin, let's say we do have a bull market and I'm wrong, it goes to 150. Maybe it hits all-time high then, 5,000. That's a lot of money that's got to come in that believe in Ethereum as being the alpha male tech. Believer cycle, I believe in ETH. That sounds like Sami, and I'm not a believer in Sami. Sami has been wrong so many times. It's unbelievable. When I sold the Hex top, he doxed my wallet without even knowing me years ago and said I sold my my future. 1 year later, after I sold it, it went from 12 cents to like below a penny or something like that. But no, believer cycle, people believe in meme coins. People believe they're going to get rich. People believe in Solana. People believe that Ethereum is not better. People believe where they went. The believers are where the numbers are. If the believers were in Ethereum, it would be a whole different ballgame. If people believe in Ethereum, the price would be higher, right? So, dumb money. Back to dumb money. Back to dumb money. I think dumb money has a home. Dumb money will migrate to anything that's an SVM. Oh, this is like, they're going to start to understand the things that we understood right before. Where we knew that DeFi had a place, smart contracts, we were all learning that. We went through DeFi, meme tokens. Then everyone started running into the gas fees. New technology comes out, it's cheaper, Solana. Anything that's built on Solana, those users have direct access to go, oh, what is it? What's SVM? It's built on Solana. Like, oh, there's a new native token for it too. Like I can get in early like Solana. That'll take market share from Solana as well. They'll take a hit, but Solana's still early. Solana's so early, it's where Ethereum was when Hex first came out. And it was only worth like a couple $100 or so. And then DeFi really blew up with Uniswap, who Hex put Uniswap on the map. And Uniswap removed them and showed like no class and no appreciation years down the road, right? Delisted from a decentralized platform, which is weird, right? So I love technology, right? And the stats of things. I think it's a beautiful thing that we can watch unfold in real time. You know, we don't have to worry about narratives, anything like that. It's not like, you know, people believe PDI to $1. It's like the tech's there, the people will go, it's cheaper. There's popping meme coins, right? It'll trend. So I'm giving you my opinions on what I think is going to come, and it's going to be tech that builds on Solana. And then after that, right, as we go into this new, frenzy of people building, SVMs and all these other layers of Solana, we'll then see something that we probably don't even know about yet, and maybe hasn't even been talked about or built out yet. But you got to imagine 4 years down the road, some new technology will be around, and it would probably be better than Solana. It's hard to believe, but what happens to Ethereum then when the thing that's better than Ethereum, right? The competition that's better than Ethereum has outperformed it, price, speed, and users and adoption. When that competition there has competition and it starts to get outpaced, what happens to Ethereum in the next 4-year cycle? And then the 4-year cycle after that, right? These are different markets. The stock market is based on businesses that grow and quarterly reports that grow, have different, revenue streams, different business models. The crypto market is tech-based, speculation-based. Speculation assets will do very well, can go to $1 billion, start off at very low market caps. A lot of them will not be in the top 10. Maybe like some once in a lifetime, like Doge will be, top 10. Shiba Inu is very well as far as its ranking in overall market cap, right? Maybe one day there'll be massive ones. Pepe sure gave a run for its money when it came to Shiba. Didn't quite hit that. There's never been anything to match Doge. Never been anything to match Shiba. Now the next bar is, can you beat Pepe, right? But the revolving door of technology is going to continue to bring in new tech in, old tech out. New tech in, old tech out. Stock market business models, money revenue, pays hard workers, has employees, has CEOs, has investments. Part of the whole trade war thing that's going on, bring your factories here, all that's different in the stock market. Its sustainability is based off money it generates. Crypto is tech-based. Bitcoin, since it's the first of its kind, even though there's better tech it's like the store value and it's the head of the snake and it has not changed. But no one built on it. So the tech was just like, it's gold, right? Gold is worth the most. It's the prettiest. But it doesn't have as much as a use case as silver or palladium. Silver and palladium have way more utility with way less market cap. But gold is the store value and used for jewelry. So, with that being said, I think ahead of time, right? Any thoughts on Zora based R2R? A ton of value arbing through it. I know a guy farmed for Zora for 1 year. I heard it made $9, got a $9 airdrop. They will buy what corporations sell them. Corporations are going to go with security and stability. Vitalik has already solidified ETH. I think, yeah, I'll throw that thought out the window because Wall Street has already chosen Solana. Wall Street is going to tokenize their stocks, right? They're going to tokenize their stocks, and they're starting with Solana. Some will build on Ethereum, but the majority is going to be Solana. And then, in addition to that, right? Are you talking about Sonic? Yeah, Sonic is SVM compatible. That's new tech. That's faster, right? I always say Richard Hart forked the wrong technology. He really did. He really did. He's human. And at the time, you couldn't think that anything was going to get any better. I was in a Twitter conversation earlier with Dirty Crypto. And his response to me about Ethereum was interesting to me. Because a lot of people have this thought process too. He goes, I mentioned that because Trump vampired Solana for tens of millions and sent it to ETH, it's the New York City of crypto. Doesn't matter how dated the tech is, real estate remains expensive. All right. He mentioned that originally. And in this conversation, prior to that, he said, World Liberty Financial will launch on ETH. It's very alive. And I'm talking about Ethereum, never hitting all-time highs. World Liberty Financial. That's the DeFi being built on Ethereum by Trump. Do you guys know that Michael Saylor was really late to buying Bitcoin? Do you guys realize that? Warren Buffett's still not buying it. A lot of billionaires are still not buying it. Because they know they're not in early. Okay? If I take let's just give Saylor a $30,000 price point compared to my $200 Bitcoin entry, right? And I'm just a retail investor. He's buying it at a what? Oh man, he bought it for 150x more than I bought it. They ain't early. World Capital, Liberty buying Ethereum before it took a dump is a reminder of human, imperfections. Just like when we look at this, what does he say? He has a 143, 145 IQ, 5D chess player. Tossed in more than $500 million into Ethereum and is down 53%. So you think because these people have billions of dollars that they always make the right choice? No, they're willing to make mistakes. They're willing to risk it for the biscuit. They're willing to risk a lot. And in this case, Michael Saylor's in early because it went to 100,000, but he ain't in early, like a lot of dudes are. So a lot of people think like when Saylor got in, like, oh, damn, this guy's in early. He bought $30,000, $18,000. Come on, bro. This fool's late. This fool is late. My IQ is 65 and I do just fine. Right? So not to harp on or make fun of Richard Hart, but I mean, he's human. This is an indication he's human. I mean, if he was perfect, he would have spent $645 million at 2,000. Or at the absolute bottom, but he couldn't time it. His time frame was off. His time frame was off. That's it. That's all there is to it. He hated Solana so much. He was blockchain bias as well. Meaning he forked Ethereum. Do you think he wants Ethereum to fail? No, because he's leveraged on it. He's more than this position. Richard Hart is way beyond a $645 million ETH position that's down 53%. He forked an entire blockchain on its technology, which, by the way, PDI goes up, PDI goes down. The technology is not holding up to speed with the users that it has today. Could you imagine if Pulse Chain, for some reason, you get your Kraken listing, right? Kraken list Pulse Chain, great. Are you ready for that? What happens if Pulse Chain surpasses 5 million daily active addresses? What happens? If you want to go look up the active addresses on Pulse Chain right now, if you're talking to somebody who does, in a year's time, I do 50,000, my tax guy, every year I get charged, and it comes out to about 50,000 transactions per year, right? Pulse Chain's only got 48 protocols. It doesn't list its active addresses here. That's a damn shame, right? I wish it did. But it ain't nowhere near the top ones. PDI goes up, PDI goes down, and it just, the gas fees go bazooka high. Transactions get stuck. And I don't want to admit any of this stuff. I don't want to admit any of this stuff, guys. Like, I hate that happens because I put a lot into this chain. I live stream about it every day, but I'm going to lie to kick it, bro. Like, hey, when people start buying a token and rush to buy a token on Pulse Chain, the gas is so high. Transactions get stuck. Like, I don't experience that on Sonic. I don't experience that on Barachain. I don't experience that on Solana. I have to turn a blind eye to it and just go like, this is not happening. Let me just increase the gas and just look the other way. That's all I do. That's all I do. Until it got 48 protocols, which is a scary thought. That means it has so much room to grow. So much room to grow in comparison to what else is out there. So Kraken is like a double-edged sword to me. The moment I saw people talking about Kraken, I got scared. I was like, well, it's going to it'll bring some price action, but more users, we're not ready for that. Before that happens, somebody better set up 10,000 new validators. Somebody better get on that validator. Some developer needs to develop a way to give access to users of like paying a fee to give them the one-click button validator access. Like, I set up 1,000 validators and I charge you enough to at least put you in profit if it's possible, and you're a one click away from having access to your virtual, validator. Something to incentivize people to set them up to profit off of them even more. I don't know what needs to be done, but it's definitely not ready for 1,000 new users that are active once we have like Kraken or Exchange happen. If we have that, if we have more validators, and it's game on. Like, it's on like Donkey Kong, bro. But you're gonna need way more. We have 3 liquid staking validator protocols. Yeah, they need to be adopted. Then people need to actually use them. There has to be something done here. It's the only way we are going to be successful, because Polygon Matic wasn't ready for the big leagues. When I went to buy tokens over there, freaking A, dude. They had QuickSwap. They had protocols, money. It was all just put together nicely. And then for some reason, the tech was just like, no, we ain't there yet. We ain't there yet. Let's take a look at Pulse Chain prices. You think dumb money will come to Pulse Chain? Well, there is dumb money on Pulse Chain right now. They were buying PDI. Prime example, dumb money exists on every chain no matter how small it is. For a token that did a 10,000x during the course of its lifespan, RIP, right? RIP, bro. But it had a beautiful run up to here, right? It went on one hell of a run. But narrative died. Token's not dead. Can't kill the token. You kill the narrative, but you can't kill the token. I believe Katie could have. She's like, I could have, would have, should have, but I didn't, right? Anything new on Barra? You know how? Want to take a look at Barra Chain? It's interesting to take a look at what's going on there because I've been talking about it, right? Let me show you what's going on over here. Let me pull this off. Proof of liquidity in one click. This chain is not proof of work. It's POL. It's proof of liquidity. All right. So to build over here, you have to build a product or a platform that has liquidity stake. They're all liquidity stake protocols. Proof of liquidity. It's different. The TVL is 1.26 billion TVL. That's a lot. That's a lot of TVL. So, you know, if you're interested in APR and earning, you gotta go take a look at the vaults and everything that's happening. This is like a very pop in place. For the bear market, let's say I'm right, we're in a bear market. Most of my money is gonna continue to go to Sonic and farm into these different vaults on Barra Chain. The opportunity here is great, right? So you got to go look at everything that you have access to when it comes to Barra. The TVL is awesome. I mean, how else could I put it? There's a lot of money on there. And if we go look at DeFi Llama, right? 60 protocols right now. DeFi TVL. 2.7 billion in DeFi TVL. Bridge is 3.17. Stables 800 million. Dex volume 49.44 million. Fees only 847. So that people will keep talking about that, right? I think this is something that you need to take a look at. So if you go to infrared.finance, right? You want to take a look here, like, oh, IBGT 230% APR, and you know, this is proof of liquidity, right? You're going to get paid for providing liquidity, and there's nice APRs. So Sonic and this one are a good place to park money, I believe. That's where I'm at, right? But I still like the Pulse Chain opportunities. OG Web Chef, you know, printers. The narrative right now on Pulse Chain is printers. They have distributors that are paying distribution and bots running in the background that are producing revenue and divs. All right. You see Sparta's kind of new like that too. This is like a leverage on Hex. And I've been talking about eHex. My number one thing that I've been talking about buying is eHex. But if you're going to buy eHex or you're bullish on Hex, the leverage play on Hex was it Hedron or Icosa? I forget which one. I think both of them will move together as one. Do well. I like Alex. That's all I know. What do you guys think of Sui? We got wrecked on PDI hard. PDI or die trying. Sui King on Pulse Toshi. Yeah. There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot of opportunity. There's a lot of risk that you can find at the bottom. We're about to find out, though. We're about to find out. What is it, Thursday? I think tomorrow, going into the weekend, will be the moment of truth for Bitcoin. We're going to head into the weekend either booming, or we're going to head into the weekend below 90,000. And then Monday, we're going to have, by the time this stream ends shortly here, we might even go and look at Wall Street, all the stock market, and we might start seeing headlines that are just bearish. Wall Street in rally mode for third straight day. You know how Wall Street works. What goes up must come down. Let's see what news comes by the end of the day. Either keeps it bullish or wrecks it. We'll see. But don't forget to pound the like button. Pound the like button. Drop a comment. Thank you for being here. Until next time. We'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Crypto talk with Thomas G.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat. Mining sprees. And we're farming all around, including heat.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat. Mining sprees. And we're farming all around, including got me on Navex and bought me some Joe. Farming go crazy, you know how it goes. Zoopy on Phantom, I got a few nodes. Sticking my Rex, you know I'm gon' hold. Getting these calls from the dog pound. Buy my dot for the next round. Now I'm coming up off the compound. Got my drip off the rebound. Getting these calls from the dog pound. Buy my dot for the next round. Now I'm coming up off the compound. Got my drip off the rebound. Crypto talk with Thomas G.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat. Mining sprees. And we're farming all around, including heat.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat. Mining sprees. And we're farming all around, including heat.
Yeah, dog.
Bringing heat. Mining sprees.